Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy for Nerds by Nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with
Dave.
And today we have a GM 911 from Invisible Moose, and he's got his big bad evil guy who wants to sack this town, and it's got a wizard school, 4 teachers that are approximately 10th level, blah 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 blah, and he wants to know how do we deal with it.
But before that, if you guys want to send us your GM911, nerdarchy@gmail.com, or over on the forums on our website at nerdarchy.com, you can send us your GM911. Let us know what's going on in your game and what we can help you with.
So, Wizard School, the big bad evil guy has got, plenty of resources to deal with, but he wants to know to make it feel like it's actually possible.
How do they take the city without him just going, oh, they have magic canceling magic?
Right.
So there's several ways to do it. Like, it depends too. Like, what are you trying to, like, what is the objective of the campaign? What are you going for? You could literally go, the town gets sacked and razed, and there was never any help from the Wizard College. We don't understand.
That's one way to go, and that can start the investigation as to, well, what happened here? Did it happen, too quickly? Did it happen too quietly?
Create a mystery. There could be, and even then, like, you can go in a plethora of directions just from that one stream of thought. Yeah, and that's like, they investigate and it's empty. The Wizard College is empty. None of them are there. How could this happen? Or they investigate the Wizard College and they've all been murdered. All of their throats have been slit. So there's definitely mundane ways of doing it. If you go back to R.A. Salvador's first trilogy for Wizards of the Coast, The Crystal Shard, spoiler, guys, if you haven't read that book that came out 30 years ago. The big bad ends up being this fumbling wizard that kind of earns his spot by murdering a wizard. And, like the things running through the wizard's mind is his life's bleeding out. It's not like why, like that he got right away, but like how could this lowly apprentice just murder him? And, basically just stabbed him in the back, dagger through the heart.
Yep. Done. So what I would do is, I don't know what the BBEG, what's his power level. Like they said, he's got plenty of resources at his beck and call. So if you can disable your opponent's strongest weapon, that's a good way to start your start your progress. So I would literally put like an earthquake right at the base of the tower, or at the base of the school. So while the town is being ransacked, the wizards are worrying about themselves first. So town is shut down. The wizard school has crumbled.
Well, you're essentially saying that the preemptive attack is to attack the wizard school.
Yes.
And take out as many of them in the initial assault as possible.
Well, just, it doesn't even have to be so much about taking them out. I mean, whatever happens, great. But the whole point is to put them focused on themselves. And typically, when the big bad lightning starts, wizards are more prone to get out of dodge and worry about themselves, so that they can survive and figure out what happened and come after it later. So,
well, maybe it depends on what kind of self-centered wizard you are. But yeah, I would see that as like the preemptive. If you can take out as many as possible, with the earthquake, and they don't understand what's going on, they don't know that it's attack. Like, so your hope is, 1, distraction, 2, to kill as many of your enemies as you can without thinking. I don't think that's probably going to most likely take out some of the more powerful wizards, but you never know. Like, he's studying, a bookcase falls on him. He wasn't expecting that.
Right?
It could happen, and then that's like the signal for the assault of the town. Or maybe like they hire, assassins, ninjas, whatever you got in your game, and they send them in first to kill everybody in their sleep. Maybe they just poisoned them all. Whether it knocks them out or kills them, whatever. Maybe the big bad is the head wizard of the school, and like he basically shuts everybody down in the school, and you can determine how he does it, whether he does it through the poison, through murder, or he just rules with an iron fist and just makes them switch sides.
I think the real crux of this is you need to figure out end game of this scenario. What is it that you're looking for? Because all of this is really NPC interacting with NPC. So it can be whatever it is that you want with proper justification, because we're not dealing with, well, how are the players intervening, or how are the players being impacted by this. So really whatever grandiose story you think is going to entertain your players, whatever is going to best fit the world and the tactics of this BBEG, just go with it.
Yeah, there's a couple things you need to consider. One is how much are the players actually going to learn, right? Write those details down. Everything else, throw it away. Useless. You're wasting your time. You don't need that information if it never comes out in the game.
Right.
It's just an exercise in mental masturbation. You're telling a story to yourself. And if our goal is to create, exciting adventures for the players, that's not relevant. And like Ted said, it's NPC on NPC action, so it doesn't matter. Here's what I find that DMs try and do a lot of times, and I've done it myself, is they feel like they have to play by the rules and set everything up by the rules, to justify whatever happens to their players. But you don't. You're telling a story. Like, none of this, like, from the email we got, it sounds like all this stuff is done. It already happened. The players had no opportunity to affect any of it, unless the campaign is going to start, like, right at this big battle or whatever.
Right.
So you don't actually have to really explain anything you don't want to, and you can, like, kind of give yourself time to figure it out. Or maybe your player says something and he's like, you know what, that's a way better idea than what I was going to do, and use that instead. Like, yes. Don't do all this extra work on stuff that may or may not even come out. Instead, focus on, what is the direction of the campaign? What's in it for your players? What kind of story are you going to tell? How many different directions can this story go into? And if you find that you have a lot of different directions for the story to go in, don't go very far, because you don't know which way they're going to go.
Right.
So these are all, like, considerations that you want to have. Again, it really just comes down to, as GMs and DMs, a lot of times we just, like, over-rationalize and think too hard about what we're trying to do and making it match up with the rule set. Like, right. The rules for this part doesn't matter. What matters is the story and the narration. Like, you can come up with some really cool explanations that there are no game mechanics for. And the players are like, well, how do you do that? And you're like, you don't know. Or wasn't that interesting?
That's the great part about, these books, is they're really only suggestions. They're really, they're guidelines for you to put things out there. But especially when it's NPC on NPC, he used this legendary spell, or he enacted this ritual that only is usable once in this particular moon cycle, or whatever have you. It doesn't matter. Just the idea is to get the story back to what the PCs are going to do for their involvement in this story that you're all communally telling. It's a game for all of you. It's a story for all of you. Don't spend too much time on the part of the story that doesn't pertain to them.
The part of the story that doesn't get told.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Unless it's something that's going to come out and it's going to be like, oh my God,
it was the greatest story never told.
Like, if it's something that's going to come out and it's going to be able to be used back against the BBEG later, that's fine. Let it come out later. Don't worry yourself.
Yeah, you can have a vague idea and write down a sentence to remind yourself, but you don't have to work out the details until you get there.
Right.
Until it's necessary. So yeah, Invisible Moose, do not overthink this one. Just do what Invisible Mooses do and have fun playing the game. If you guys want to help Invisible Moose out, there's the comments down below. Where like, share, and subscribe.
You can head over to nerdarchy.com and hang out with us over there.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.